What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made this. Beautiful, delicious, beefy, cheesy, amazing, accurate, homemade McDouble. That's right, folks, we're making the buns, we're grinding the meat, and we're trying our hardest to make the most accurate version of a fast food McDouble cheeseburger at home. Coming up! This is some meat. Patty dry. And what I've got here is a beautiful looking chuck roast. Picked this up at my local grocery store. It is in fact USDA prime, which means it's got some really good intramuscular fat and some good marbling to give us a good 80-20, 75-25 meat to fat ratio, which is exactly what we're looking for today. And that's because today we're gonna be knocking out my version of the McDonald's McDouble. And how this came about is last year at some point, me and Bones were driving up to Dallas for a barbecue festival, and on the 3-hour car ride, we started talking about food, as we typically do. And I started griping about how every time you see someone here on FoodTube trying to recreate a McDonald's burger at home, they never quite get the ratios right. Because if you haven't noticed, McDonald's patties are quite thin, especially on the McDouble, and there's really not all that much meat in there, which is part of what makes them so snackable. So you can have like 2 or 3 of them if you're feeling frisky. So I spent the next hour in the car ride watching videos and looking up information all about what McDonald's uses, the weight of their patties, types of pickle, types of cheese, just for fun. And then when we got to our Airbnb, we went to the grocery store and bought all the accoutrements that we needed, and we knocked out some really good homemade McDoubles. And honestly, since that day, I've made them a bunch of times. We eat them all the time down at the Chud shop, because as you'll see at the end of this video, once you get all the prep done, you can knock one of these burgers out in like 90 seconds, and you feel a little bit better about eating them because you know exactly what goes into it. And it truly is fast food at home. But to get things started, I'm gonna go ahead and get this chuck roast cubed up, because if you've seen any of my other burger making videos, you know that I always like to grind my own meat. It just comes out a lot better. You can control the grind size and use better quality cuts, like this beautiful looking chuck roast. Nice little 1-inch cubes like this that'll fit down the meat grinder a little bit easier and get nice and cold in the freezer a little bit quicker, but I'm not sure if that's enough meat, so I'm gonna go check my freezer and see if there's anything else in there. I did find another chuck roast in the freezer, so now we've probably got 2 or 3 pounds of cubed up meat that is going into the freezer for the next 30-40 minutes to get nice and cold. And now that our meat is nice and cold, through the meat grinder we go. Got the small die on there, and we're gonna send it through one time. Beautiful grind on that. Looking nice and pebbly, no fat smearage or anything like that, and a really nice meat to fat ratio. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a quick little mix just to make sure all that fat is evenly distributed. And now we can start weighing this out into some individual patties. And this is where the McDonald's meat to bun ratio really comes into play, because if you look it up, a singular McDouble patty weighs about 45 grams or 1/10 of a pound, which is pretty small. And looks something like that. So now I'm gonna repeat this process many times, and it is a bit tedious, but I highly recommend, if you are gonna do this, that you make a big batch, because it will pay off in the long run. But we're just gonna keep repeating this process until we've got Meatball Mountain! Looking absolutely beautiful. And now we're gonna form these into patties, or you could cook them in ball form like a smash burger, but I prefer a patty. And typically I bust out a burger press like this one. It's double-sided, so if you put it on this side, you can get a 1/4 pounder, or if you flip it on this side, there's enough space for a 1/2 pound burger. But because this is like a 1.5 ounce, this press doesn't really work, because if you look closely, there's a little gap in there that is thicker than the patty is gonna be. But lucky for me, Bones has a 3D printer, and he made this bad boy. Even put the Chud logo on there. And this is the same size as this base plate, but it goes all the way up, so you can make a burger as thin as you like. And the only downside is we realized pretty quickly that it's not dishwasher safe, so there's a little divot in this side and on the back, but should still work out perfectly. So to form a patty, I'm gonna go down with a piece of patty wax, meatball, patty wax again, and then we press. And just like that, we've got a perfect, super thin patty. So now, yet again, we repeat. And just like that, in no time at all pattied up, not sticking to each other because they got the patty wax on there. So now I'm gonna park these in the freezer until they are frozen solid. Next up, let's go ahead and knock out some super simple burger buns. And this is a recipe I developed that is incredibly simple, meaning no enrichments like eggs or milk or anything like that. And it comes together pretty quick because it's a really yeasty bread, which means it rises pretty quickly. And it should result in some really dumb, fluffy white buns. Starting out with some water, our yeast, and our sugar. And give that a quick little mix. Followed by some oil. This is avocado oil, but any neutral oil will work. And then some all-purpose flour and some dough conditioner for that nice, light, fluffy bun. And bring that together. And once that's come together into a shaggy dough ball, I'm gonna let this sit here for about 10-15 minutes just to let all that flour absorb into the water and let that gluten start to develop. And after about 10 minutes, now we can go in with our salt, and let this mead for like 6 to 8 minutes. Beautiful, smooth looking ball of dough. So out it comes. Making a pretty small batch. This should make like 7 buns or something like that, but you could easily double this up, but it should look nice and smooth, just like that. So now into a grease bowl this goes. We're gonna cover it up and let it rise for 1 hour. And after our dough has doubled in size, out it comes. Boop, go ahead and punch some of the air out. And now we'll go ahead and start portioning this out into some 75-gram dough balls. Probably should turn the scale on first. And then in typical bun making protocol, we're going to take all the seams and form them to the underside, pinching everything shut so there's no folds on the top side, and give that a nice quick little table roll to make sure it's a nice tight ball and looking nice and round, like that. Very simple dough, folks, and quite easy to work with. Highly recommend it. And once all rolled out, onto a Silpat line baking sheets these go. I did go ahead and pat these down a little bit, dusted them a little bit too. So hopefully they get a little bit more wide instead of tall and bulbous. And now we're gonna cover these up one more time and let them rise for 30 to 45 minutes. 30, maybe 45 minutes later, these buns are looking nice and big and nicely proved, so they are ready for the oven. And I'm not gonna use an egg wash or anything like that today, but at McDonald's they use a pea protein spray on top of their buns, and I'm pretty sure that's mostly just to help the sesame seeds stick for the Big Mac buns. And I did pick some up and I tried it out a few times, and I really didn't notice all that much of a difference as opposed to using nothing at all, especially because we're baking these at 450 degrees, which is quite hot. And I assume something like this is probably better for allergens and cheaper than using actual eggs. But we're not making sesame seed buns today, so I'm just gonna put these in as is and bake them for probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Really doesn't take long in a super hot oven. So we'll check back on these in like 12 minutes. And just like that, after a quick 12 minutes in the oven, these are looking absolutely beautiful. I mean, just look at the color on these. So nice, lovely looking squishy bun, not too big. They're feeling quite crunchy on top, but now we gotta cool these down a little bit. So first thing we're gonna do is pop these on a wire rack so they don't steam out the bottoms too badly. And once they cool down for maybe 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna pop them into a Ziploc plastic bag. And that's gonna trap in a lot of moisture, and it's really gonna help soften these up and make them impossibly fluffy and light. But look at that, kinda looks like a McDonald's bun, right? Also, for best results, when you put these in the bag, try and suck all the air out. Helps kind of vac seal them up a little bit. That's what they do at the McDonald's factory anyway. It's gonna kind of compress them a little bit, trapping in more steam and less air, so they go stale less quickly, but also they kind of compress a little bit, so they're not nearly as bulbous. But now I'm gonna let these cool down. In like an hour or so, these are gonna be super fluffy, and they'll probably be even better tomorrow. And with our buns cooling down and our burger patties at the ready, we gotta go ahead and get everything else ready, starting with our condiments, which in this case are ketchup and mustard. But like most multi-billion-dollar fast food chains, the ketchup and mustard they use are proprietary and sold exclusively to them, so I'm gonna just use stuff off the shelf. A little French's yellow, can't go wrong. And as far as ketchup goes, I know it used to be made by Heinz, it's probably still made by them, but it's a slightly different formula. And the main difference is McDonald's ketchup is a little bit sweeter, a little bit thinner, and a little bit more acidic. So I think I'm just gonna try and doctor this up real quick. Ooh, how you doing? Haven't really tested this out, but I'm just gonna go in with a little pinch of sugar and a splash of some vinegar. And that should add some lovely acidity, a little bit more sweetness, while simultaneously thinning it out a little bit. But this is probably overkill. Yep, that tastes pretty close. Next up is a super secret spice mix for our burger patties, consisting of salt and pepper, but a specific ratio of 86% table salt and 14% finely ground black pepper. Secrets are coming out now, folks. And give that a quick little mix. As for other toppings, this is one of my favorite burger tricks of all times, which is some rehydrated onions. And these are simply some dehydrated onions that we need to rehydrate, and really adds to that nostalgic fast food flavor of burgers. I like them so much we even sell them on our website. And it just makes sense, you know, with the amount of burgers they're pumping out, I don't expect someone to be back there dicing up a bunch of onions all day long. And these hydrate in like 10 minutes. Just pour some into a jar here, cover them with some water. Not too much water, don't want to dilute the flavor that much. And let them sit for like 10-15 minutes, and you'll be good to go. And I've been talking about using rehydrated onions on burgers on this channel for years at this point. Definitely one of my favorite little tricks. And if you haven't tried it yet, highly recommend it. It's just so convenient, and it just adds that certain je ne sais quoi to your backyard burgers. And as far as pickles go, I have tried for years to try and recreate that commercially made, industrial, super green, tangy, salty pickle that you're gonna buy from the grocery store or find at a fast food joint, but I have not come close yet. The ones I do make on this channel are fantastic. They're a little bit fresher. They pair really well with barbecue, but the closest thing I found to what they're using at their restaurants is the best made pickles. Get the whole pickle like this, throw it on a mandolin, get some really nice thin slices, and they are pretty much indistinguishable. And if you buy a huge jug like this, you pretty much got a lifetime supply of pickles, especially if you slice them real thin. And last up, we gotta talk about about American cheese, and according to Chef Mike, the former McDonald's chef guy on TikTok, he compared all the ingredients from what they're using to stuff you can buy at the store, and he says that the great value stuff from Walmart is the closest you're going to get to the McDonald's American cheese. And quality of American cheese does make a big difference. I mean, I've even made my own American cheese on this channel for a burger in the past, and it is the only cheese for a burger. But now with all of our ingredients ready to go, I think it's time to knock out a quick burger. Look at that bun. Looks so nice. Nice and fluffy. Beautiful crumb on that. I'm going to get this toasted off real quick, but it's just so impossibly light and fluffy. Beautiful. Got the old Chud press here fired up, which is the perfect way to cook these because that's how they cook them at McDonald's. They have a press, kind of like this one, but straight out of the freezer. These are frozen solid, which is what makes this recipe so quick. Peel the paper off of one side, and then right from freezer, down we go. Give them a little press. Open them up, take the paper off the top, season those with your salt and pepper mixture, and give them a flip. And after just a couple of seconds on that underside, off these come. Looking absolutely beautiful. And now for round two. And to assemble, we've got our lovely toasted bun, to which I'm going to go down with a couple spots of some of our lovely ketchup, followed by mustard. And I don't think they do this, but I'm going to go ahead and put these buns together so we get even spreadage. Then we'll go down with some of our rehydrated onions, as many or as few as you see fit. Patty number 1, a single slice of American cheese. Patty number 2, and then 2 pickles on the top bun. And close it up. And there it is, folks, a super quick McDouble. Let's make it again. Ketchup, mustard, a little oops, onions, patty, cheese, patty, pickle, pickle, done. So quick. But of course, if you want to be super authentic, you got to wrap it up in some wax paper. Let it kind of steam in there for a minute. I will say, folks, as far as looks go, that looks pretty dang close to a McDonald's cheeseburger, except probably with a lot less preservatives in it. But really, it's all about how it tastes. Right off the bat, hits you with that nostalgic flavor. It tastes exactly like a McDonald's burger, but with a better crust on the meat. And I am loving those ratios. You know, not too much bread. A lot of the buns I make are really tall. They're all really soft and squishy, but that one, that is a perfect burger bun. And it looks so good. I mean, come on, folks. And I know those meatballs look pretty small, but once you bite into it, it looks pretty meaty. That is so close, yet so much better. And I know some people are probably sitting there thinking, this guy is the most talented, handsome, attractive chef, baker, pitmaster on the planet. Why is he trying so hard to recreate a fast food cheeseburger? And the answer is, 1, because it's just kind of fun to try and recreate something that you've had many times in your life. And 2, I think there really is a time and a place for the snackable burger, right? You know, I love a pub burger, a smoked burger, a smash burger, but something about a simple burger like this, real thin patties, where you eat 2 or 3 of them after a couple of beers. It just hits the spot, you know? It's like, I love a good IPA, but most of the time I just want to have a light, crisp, refreshing Pilsner of some sort. And this burger really is hitting the spot. Again, I think this bread will be better tomorrow after it's had more time to rest and soften up a little bit. Pickles are spot on, the onions are spot on. That ketchup trick worked out a lot better than I was expecting. And I should mention, the main reason I'm doing the McDouble, other than the double cheeseburger, because everybody knows the double cheeseburger is better than the McDouble, it's got an extra slice of cheese on it, is because this cheese is a little bit thicker and a little bit more powerful, more flavorful than the stuff they got over there. And I've tried making this with 2 slices of that cheese before and it's a bit overwhelming. Also, McDouble is a little bit easier to fit into a thumbnail, fewer words, you know what I mean? A little more iconic, but I'm not missing that extra slice of cheese on this burger. That's so good. How often do you get a McDonald's cheeseburger on freshly baked bread? I mean, come on. And I know it may seem like a little bit too much work up front to make a bunch of little meatballs, press them out, stick them in the freezer. But once you've done that, you're toasting a bun, you're cooking the meat from frozen, and throwing a burger together in less than 90 seconds. Doesn't get much more quick and easy than that, folks. Also got this one wrapped up. This one's probably gonna look a little bit more accurate. Oh yeah, look at that bun now. That looks like an actual McDonald's bun now that it's been steamed out a little bit in the wrap. Doesn't look nearly as sad on as theirs though. Come on, tell me you don't want to take a big bite of this. I'm doing it. It's just the perfect ratios. Cheesy, meaty, and just so easy and delicious. But before I go ahead and knock out probably 3 of these adorable little burgers, I think it's time for the official taste test. Alright, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some absolutely fantastic scratch-made McDouble cheeseburgers at home. I highly recommend giving this one a try. You know, it's a super fun burger to make. It comes together incredibly quickly, and it's kind of like the ultimate meal prep life hack, you know? Having burger patties in the freezer that are ready to go at any given moment whenever you want a burger. Pretty convenient. Or if you're one of those people that refuses to eat at McDonald's or eat fast food in general for any number of reasons, this is a great way to get a similar experience at home, but with really high-quality ingredients. Gotta love that. Definitely something I'm going to be keeping around, and I'm always going to have some of those patties in my freezer because I make this burger a lot more than I probably should, especially when people come over and I don't feel like putting in much effort, and it's a hit every time. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Team Chud members. Thank you for supporting this channel and allowing me to keep making all these videos, and until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace!